For my personal creative project, I decided to do a AR-15 golf ball launcher. This used blanks to propel golf balls downrange with this adapter that would obviously shoot golf balls. But due to me testing positive for COVID-19, I was unable to do this as I didn't want to risk my friend's safety just to use his machines to finish that project. So I decided to use and start a different project, which is a subwoofer box for my truck. I got this idea because all my friends were hitting their legs and shins as the old box was oversized under my seat. So when everyone got into my truck, they would scrape and obviously hit their legs and complain. Some of the things I did to prepare was make an inventor model, which is a 3D software. Um, I measured it all out for my truck and the old box. I created new dimensions, assembled it all together, and made all the cutouts, got all my measurements done and created, make sure everything fit correctly. And then I put it onto a drawing. Um, this is what I actually used to help me create it in the garage. These are all my pieces for my sides, backside, fronts, etc. And then the most difficult parts to create was the bottom. These cutouts are hard to measure with a tape measure, so I pulled out my dial calipers. And overall, it wasn't a very hard project, but it was time consuming due to some of the pieces being kind of a pain to cut out. I did some research. I talked to a couple friends and what sizes they thought would work better, and I had a couple tolerance issues. My subwoofer was actually too tall to fit inside of this box, so I actually had to cut out top pieces. I had to cut out my top, and I took about a 1/4 inch of material out because the subwoofer was hitting it and rattling inside of the box. So that was just annoying. So that was one of the problems I had to overcome. Um, my main and biggest challenge with this project was getting it all done in time, which I still didn't do. I'm late. Please excuse me for that. And shoot, I lost myself. My last biggest challenge was actually carpeting the box. It turned out somewhat okay. The top and the front were both okay. These are the things I used. I used fleece instead of the typical felt because it's a little bit softer and a little bit easier to work with, in my opinion. And the 3M77 spray adhesive is amazing. It's tacky. It just works. It does. Uh, this is my first time wrapping a box like this, and I am personally not happy with how the end caps turned out, which is where you cut and mesh all the pieces together. I didn't have sharp enough scissors to do this properly, but I do plan to redo the carpeting in the future as there's spots where it is showing wood and it's not painted underneath, so all of the seams will have a little bit of tan wood color. But other than that, I think my project turned out fairly well, and compared to the old one, which actually started breaking, it had L-shaped feet. Um, it's just a much better design, and I had one last issue, which was the subwoofers were actually too big, so they were hitting the floor as they were shooting downwards. So to fix that, I actually had to increase the leg length by 1.5 inches, which worked out fairly well, but just another seam on the end caps. Well, that was my project, and yeah, thanks for your time.